Well, hello, Microsoft 365 Nation. As we like to do, we have monthly conversations with our contributors. The contributors we've selected are experts in the field of technology, MSPs, Microsoft 365, and they're certainly all fun, including Ken Dwight out of Houston, Texas. And Ken, we were talking about how to get me over to the haberdasher to get a suit. So I'm gonna take you up on that. I'm glad you let me know one of them has a sale going on. I'm gonna follow your lead on this one, my friend. It's getting a little bit lean out here.
All right. You know, when you're an old guy like me, you're used to wearing suits every day, so I still do it. But
Amen, amen. I love it. I would tell you this, and we'll get into the good stuff. But when I did that world tour in 14 and had to wear a suit in Latin America and Asia and stuff, and I got to tell you, you get used to it, because a lot of computer guys are like, I'm not going to take that job because they told me I have to wear a tie. Come on now, you kind of get used to it, but that's not why we're here. So last month we talked about security in the context of MSPs and a one-to-many vulnerability. And you said, you know what, Harry, this month, let's double click down on that. So what's news following up on MSPs being targeted for malware and they get keys to the kingdom? Go.
all right, well, I guess the biggest thing that's happened recently, and recently meaning last month or two, is that there was an exploit that was revealed over a year ago involving Kaseya and ConnectWise, and there's an interface between them that, as I say, I think it was November of a year ago that somebody said, hey, there's a vulnerability here, and they released an update to that interface, and I guess some people applied it, others didn't, and in the last month or two, the bad guys have figured out there's still a lot of MSPs out there that have that old unpatched version.
Yep.
And so quite a few now have been infected and encrypted. And of course, what the bad guys figured out is if they can infect an MSP who in turn has access to all their clients and encrypt all those data files, there's a gold mine waiting for the bad guys to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and I saw that. Well, so let's back up half a step. So you have an audience now. Let me clarify one or two things with your business model. And next month we're going to deep dive into your business model. But are you Dr. Virus or Dr. Antivirus? Because they're two different meanings. What is your trademark?
And in fact, that got turned around in a recent introduction. But I am the Virus Doctor.
Oh, the Virus Doctor. Okay, and I'll tell you why. I saw that up on Carl Palachek's podcast. And I was thinking, we're in the hometown of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that does great work in healthcare around the world. And I don't know that I would walk into that facility and call myself Dr. Virus.
Now, as you know, Carl is a bright guy and great background, and
I'm just having fun with you, man.
I think the world of Carl, and he's not always quite as anal as I am about some of the details, and so when I saw that Dr. Virus, I thought, no, that's not what I'm called, but anyway, got the point across.
And I'll tell you what, back to business. The reason I ask is you have built up a community and an audience where you periodically meet with, I'm going to call it your membership or your followers or clients, and I want to hook this month's conversation is this one-to-many malware attack in the MSP community top of mind. Is this the conversations you're having in your community?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And in fact, back to what you're talking about, anybody that has taken and graduated from my virus remediation training workshop, I have a monthly webinar for them. And coincidentally, that was held yesterday, and coincidentally, Carl Palachuk was our featured speaker.
Well, there you are.
So, a lot of the people that take that workshop are MSPs. A lot of them are break-fix shops, including some that are one-person shops, even some part-timers. They've got a day job and they're trying to get into the tech support business on their own. And so I've got a broad audience of people that are doing tech support for other people for a living.
Yeah, and what I'm curious about is you're right about the exploitation you mentioned earlier, Kaseya and ConnectWise. knowing the bad guys, they're always a half a step ahead, and they're smart guys. Are you hearing of other vulnerabilities we're not aware of? It just seems like it would open a Pandora's box, right? Even though you have a fix in place for scenario A, I would suspect that there's a multi-vector attack going on from different angles here.
Well, there is, but I think a more significant factor is kind of the distribution model, because a lot of the bad guys that are creating this ransomware and malware in general are making some of their money from their efforts directly, but a much bigger part of it, frankly, is coming from selling that exploit code. And so the point is, back in the early days of viruses, you heard about the script kiddies that were just, people didn't know much, but they bought basically something they could modify and call their own, or that sort of thing. And now you have the same thing in ransomware. It's ransomware as a service. So
yeah, let me ask you this, and I would never encourage you or any of our listeners to do this, but I am aware of pranks, and all in good humor is how they all start. But there's a well-known prank back when I spent some time in data analytics at a startup in Seattle. So what you do is you take one of your frenemies and you put in their mobile phone number on one of those sites that says get quotes for moving or get quotes for insurance, right? Because all those are lead generation, right? They're not really doing a lot of filtering. And your phone number goes out to maybe 10 service providers instantly, and Ken, your phone blows up, and it's all fun and giggles, theoretically. Are you seeing this kind of fun and giggles prank mentality with these motions, like somebody wants to get back at somebody that didn't pay for their beer or something, or is this more of an economic attack, and how can I make money? I'm just curious.
I haven't seen it used in any way except to make money. I haven't seen it used as a prank at all.
Okay.
Now, there's a variation on that, and that is what's known as sextortion. And that's where you get an email. Sorry, Harry.
Oh, don't do that while I'm drinking coffee. Okay, go on.
And you've probably gotten a lot of these yourself. Everybody has. I get about 10 of them a week, where a cold email says, I'm so-and-so, you don't know me, but I hacked your computer, and I watched you watching porn. I had your video camera turned on. I recorded it, unless you pay me whatever. And in those cases, it's all a prank. Well, it's not exactly a prank, but it's all bogus. They have not hacked your computer. They don't have any recording. But unfortunately, a lot of people have fallen for it, especially the ones that actually have been watching porn and are concerned about being exposed.
Yeah. Let me go back over the yellow line, but I'll tell you this. We just this week launched our book on how to be an MSP, and we're at market, and our mechanism today is PayPal. We'll probably have a couple of other mechanisms, commerce mechanisms in place shortly, but I want to key it on PayPal, and then we'll call it good. But I'm spending a lot of time in PayPal. I'm setting up the card, the discount codes, the this and the that. Then, lo and behold, to your point, once a week, twice a month, you get one of these fake emails with the PayPal branding, to click here to do, procedure ABC. And I'll tell you, Ken, it's scary. I have heightened attention to that because I'm working in the credit facility.
And, in the old days, it was so obvious with the typos and the misspellings and the poor punctuation and the unrendered graphics. But these days, as you say, they're very realistic looking. And of course, they're not at all bashful about using the logos, the trademarks, the color scheme, everything else. And so it's a lot more sophisticated world now than it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah. So Ken, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you run. You indicated that, boy, stop the presses. You're taking Friday afternoon off.
Only a few hours. I'll be back here about 5 or 6 o'clock.
Okay, because I want to make sure the sun still sets in the west, right? Let me get that straight. Rises in the east, sets in the west. We want to make sure you're back on duty to make the sun set. Ken, thank you for your monthly contributions. Next month, we're going to double click down into your community, your business model, because I think people would like to know how to work with you.
Great. I look forward to it.
All right. Have a great day.
Thanks, Harry. You too.